Hello there, how are you? It's me again. I just wanted to, and I'm gonna tell you a quick, short, brief story about how I went from being dependent on caffeine, and caffeine, and espressos and lattes, cappuccinos, caffeine, cigarettes, and cannabis. How I went from being dependent on those three C's: caffeine, cigarettes, and cannabis, to being dependent on sugar, carbohydrates, fruit, and water, and sleep. Sleep is a little bit less now that I've got a baby, but in any case. So, in high school, towards the end of high school, I reached peak apathy. In grade 12 in Australia, there's a lot of pressure to perform, a lot of pressure. This is your last chance. Put in your final hard effort to get the grades you want so you can start your future the way you want to when you leave. Get the right degree, get the right things happening. If you don't want to study, do what you want to do what you got to do. And I was just totally fucking over all of it. Just imposing all of these protocols and rules and systems and procedures and patterns and channels and pathways. And they're like try and be accommodating, like if you don't want to do that, then you can do this. If you don't want to blah, 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 blah. But the whole 12 years had felt, I don't know, I can't speak for how I felt across the whole of the 12 years, but at the end I was sick of it. I was over it. I just wanted to experience the opposite, what life could offer. I felt like there must be so much more to life than just school and what they say there is in life at school and around students and the kind of culture that's encouraged towards students and socially and societally. So I gravitated towards things that would bring me a different experience. The stimulating effects of caffeine, the mind-changing effects of cannabis, and the relaxative, calming, cool, choice-based activity of smoking cigarettes. If I can't choose to have been born in a place and a time where I could frolic amongst fruit trees and eat delicious fruit and do as I please without having to be told that I needed to study for the maths exam or that I needed to achieve well, blah blah blah, then at the very least I could buy cigarettes and smoke them if I could get away with it. So I did. I started off not doing any of those things very regularly. Maybe once a week I would smoke some cannabis with my friends, have a coffee, etc. After the end of year 12, started working more. I was already working, finished year 12, and I was working in a little deli restaurant shop place where I was preparing short order foods and stocking fridges and doing all this stuff. They had it's like a hotel meal, cafe, restaurant, diner. It's like a diner really. It's fried food and like convenience store stuff and coffees. And that's when I first started having half an hour breaks in between preparing short order food and serving customers and stocking stock in the shelves and the fridges and shit. And in the half an hour break I needed to relax extra, so I started smoking JPS cigarettes. One, or even I'd smash in a second one if I didn't feel relaxed enough. When you first start, you feel this, ooh, that's pleasant. And after a little while, it takes more, and then more and more and more, and you just pounding that habit. And it's the same with cannabis and coffee. These things just initially are a totally new experience for your brain, so you have this wildly different and new feeling and sensation. And there's such a relief and an excitement from the previous states of being that you just want to do it more and more and more, and that's what I did. I'm not somebody who goes, ooh, that's too exciting, I better pace myself, otherwise I'll run out of excitement for that. I'm someone who goes, let's dive right in, let's get in there, let's do it as many times as we can, in as many different ways as possible. So I got more jobs, worked different jobs, kept smoking more, kept drinking more coffee, and smoking more cannabis. It ended up a few years later working in a coffee shop. I loved it. It's the best place I've worked yet. My favourite. Shout outs to you G's. I miss you all a lot. But drinking coffee every day, many coffees, fully amped every day. And then it takes, to be amped at all, you have to have coffee. Without coffee, you become this, I haven't had coffee yet. And to have that as your default state of being is totally fine. Until you start to think about, I wonder what I could be like. What was it like when I was a 4-year-old and I didn't need any substances to be super fucking thrilled about things? And these thoughts started to come into my mind, and I thought, shit, I've got to do something about it. And it was the same with the cannabis and the cigarettes. I just kind of thought, I know I'm not going to do this forever. There's got to be a point where I stop. When is that point going to be? And I watched one YouTube video. I'll try and find it and put it in the link in the description for anyone who needs this kind of assistance that helped me out. It's like this thought experiment where you just follow this story for a little bit and you allow yourself to go with the story, and then it will totally help you quit smoking. You won't want to do it anymore. You'll just see from your own new perspective that you don't need to do it. 5 minutes doing well. On the cannabis, I missed the clarity that is possible, and I missed the waking up in the morning feeling fresh. Once you start doing it every day, cannabis, you depend on it. You rely on it to bring you down from all the caffeine. I have so much caffeine throughout the day, and your brain starts to feel frazzled, like you turn on a hot plate all day and you leave it on, and then you turn it off and it's just cooked. Like the metal's just been expanding and heating, and it's just so worked from all of that energy and buzzing and whatnot. And you come home at the end of the day and your head is just, but your body's fucked. And your metabolism's all thrown out because it does things to your metabolism, and it's all a big. But you do it every day because you can, and you maintain it, and it feels great. It feels so intense and fun to be up on the clouds, like just zipping around, having the coffees and doing the chatty thing to the customers and making awesome drinks. And it's really lovable and enjoyable pastime, and it's a fun hobby, and it's a fun place, a fun thing to get into. However, for me, I wanted to see what if I could get back to the sort of feeling where you can just wake up, just eat, just sleep, and do fun things that have a more wholesome, fulfilling vibe without the come down effects and the dependency. So like I'm dependent on food now and water, which I could probably have ignored more with the coffee and the cigarettes, because you can just fast a little bit and then have some coffee. I used to enjoy having coffee before I ate because it was more energizing, and I didn't want the food to absorb the coffee and take away the caffeine from my body. In any case, so I slowly started having less coffee and less coffee and less coffee. And the way I do that is not to have a little bit less every day, but to have intermittent periods where I sort of decide, yeah, I'm going to stop it. So I'll stop for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, as long as I can be bothered, and then go, nah, fuck it, I'll just keep doing it. And then the next time I'm like, nah, I'll give it another shot. And then I do a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then go back. And then the next time, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then eventually you just cross this threshold and you go, nah, fuck it, I'm done. If I really want to see good results, I'm going to have to keep going. And every time I undo the results is like a reminder that you really want to do it. I hope that makes sense. So it's the same thing. I had the same experience with coffee and cigarettes and cannabis. It's all about just trying a little bit to not do that, to try and seek what it is that you want, that you're not getting. Something you're not getting. You have to. It basically just takes clarity and clear space to be able to find what it is within me that is not lined up with another part of me or something. And with all of the stimulants and the relaxing cannabis and the cigarettes and the habituation of all of these things, it's just near impossible to have clear headspace and think about and really find the truth inside. So that's about it. Hope that's interesting. Hope you enjoyed.